up, everybody? Super stoked. We're here on the T8 Outdoors podcast, man. And I have my buddy here, my Instagram buddy, Matt Sather. He's got some cool hunting stories. He's got some cool ways of getting out into the mountains that we may not have touched on yet. And I'm really interested in this. And he's got a foundation that could help, help people and getting into the woods. And yeah, well, we're gonna run with it. Matt, thanks for coming on, dude.
No problem. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, stoked to have you. And I know we post this podcast here on YouTube a lot, but you guys can just admire that bear in the background, dude. Like, golly, that thing's beautiful.
It's a
Um,
nice rug. It was a pretty awesome first bear.
First
Not
bear,
not a monster, but a really nice hide.
gorgeous, man. That thing's just glistening. So, Matt, if you want to just jump in and tell us who you are, what you're about, your injury, and what got you into the woods.
Yep. Well, I'm Matt Sather. I've been hunting since I was 12 and kind of followed my dad around a little bit before that hunting. I was born with something called spinal bifida, so it wasn't an injury. It's just birth defect that I was born with. So I got my first care when I was two, I think, somewhere around there, and had one ever since.
Right on, man. What got you into the woods, into
My
hunting?
dad, my dad, my uncle, my grandpa, they all kind of hunted off and on here and there throughout their lives and kind of intersected in them when I was starting to learn, especially my dad. He got a really nice mule deer about, I don't know, 5 or 10 miles away when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, something like that. And I was hooked from that point on. I wanted to do it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the same boat here. Is like I always had the urge to hunt. I just never went hunting until my uncle took me out and I shot my first doe. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like
So,
this is what I want to do the rest of my entire life, you know.
yep, kind of gets you hooked.
Absolutely. So Matt, let's jump in. Let's jump into like I've told people on this podcast before, is we try to aim it towards people who are trying to get out into the woods who don't quite know how. And
Sure.
let's say we're talking to a father who has a son and he's trying to figure out how to get him out into the woods. Do you what what wisdom can Matt Sather give us to get outdoors, dude?
So my story in hunting began with getting a permit to hunt from a vehicle, which I'm not sure if every state has that. But here in Montana, you can get a permit to hunt from a vehicle, and so probably I don't know the first 5 or 10 years of my life, most of my hunting was from from a vehicle of some sort. Until I kind of started finding some old logging roads, and I do some hunting from my wheelchair from there, and then from there I got a hand cycle that I got out and did some hunting with, and now my most recent way of going is my track chair. There's a lot of ways to get out there and do it, and you got to get creative.
Yeah, that's something that I constantly harp on this channel is if
Mm.
you really want to get out there, there's no foolproof way of doing
No,
this. There's not like, oh, if I do this, I'm automatically gonna get into animals and I'm automatically gonna have, trophies on the wall. That's or
no,
food
you
in
got
the
to work for it
freezer.
just like anybody else.
Exactly. You put one step in front of the other. You put one wheel in front of the other. It's just you roll 6 inches at a time, and it's how a lot of us got started. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to get out into the woods, there's look contact your local fish and wildlife or fishing
Absolutely.
game or fishing game. They they will give you so much golden information. That's where I've gotten most of my information about. They can tell you where to go, which tags to put in for, they will be most excited to get you out into the woods more than anybody. But other than that, it's like there's foundations out there. There's we'll touch in on some more the foundations later on, but if you really want it, you really want it bad enough, like I can't harp on it big enough. You start off with contacting your local fish and game and just ask questions, and go from there.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of opportunity in a lot of places. I mean, even in Montana here, I mean, there's logging roads that are gated off that are anybody else has to walk behind the gate and hike back in. But there are each Forest Service here in Montana has its own, usually two or three gated roads that they will give you a key for to be able to drive back into there if you have a permit to hunt from a vehicle. So I mean, there's like you said, get a hold of your local fishing, wildlife and parks or fishing game or whatever you have there, and ask them. There's more than likely going to be some sort of a program to help get you out.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have that in Southern California out here too. There's a lot of mountainous areas that are gated off to like gas powered vehicles
Sure.
and stuff like that. But if you have your disability shoot from a car parent permit passed, then they'll give you the gate key, or they might even meet you there in the morning and just let you in, and then you'll venture out from there. Um, yeah, so Matt, it looks like I'm looking at his Instagram here, and you're a pretty accomplished hunter, bro. I've been following you for a while, dude. Like I don't know how I started following you, just Instagram creeping somehow. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm sure it was one of those just friend recommendations because you
Yeah,
were friends with somebody that I'm friends with.
right, right. Or on Facebook, there's a group called what is it, Spinal Cord Foundation or
Yeah, I think it was
Spinal Cord Injury something.
yeah, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think we might have popped over there and saw a lot of people over there post their hunts, and I mean, and that's a good page to go to, you guys. If you want to go over there, check it out on Facebook. Just spinal cord hunting, spinal cord injury, and a lot of these pages will pop up, and you'll see a lot of people out there in wheelchairs getting after it, and all it takes is just asking questions, just get out there and just ask a question. It's uh it's quite the that's what I constantly harp on this channel. I've said that probably like 10 times already in this podcast. Harp. I don't know why I've been saying harp, but it's a new word for the day.
Yep.
Um
I just looked up. There's a few, but there's the Spinal Cord Injury USA group. There was
that's the one. That's the one. Spinal
yep.
Cord Injury USA. Yeah.
There's Accessible Hunter. They have their own podcast, but they also have a bunch of people can post their stuff on there, and there's a lot of people on there that you can meet too that are disabled hunters as well. So I end up getting a lot of contacts through that as well.
Right on. Yeah. Like I keep saying, just reach out, ask questions. I can't tell you guys how many cool hunts I've been on just by just asking questions, and people are like, "Oh, yeah, I'll totally help you out," or like, and if they can't help you out, they may know somebody, or that somebody may know somebody, and the outdoorsman world is the coolest community I've ever been a part of.
It
Like
really
I
is.
just everyone just so loving and so caring, and just everyone wants you to see like God's creation, and just like this the way we get to live the lives and just enjoy life.
Absolutely.
But I see on here you're running a bird dog.
I do.
Can
His
you
name is
jump in on that a little bit? Just tell us how that works.
yeah. So 3 years ago, just a little over 3 years ago, I inquired about a dog from some folks named Becky and Rick Slater. Um, they own uh, Big Sky R&B poodle pointers. It's a dog that I've been looking at for a long time. It's a breed that it comes from Germany. It's um, mid 1800s, I want to say, is when the breed started. and yeah, just inquired about it, and they were excited to try and help me in any way I could to get one of their dogs, and yeah, just kind of worked out awesome. They helped me out with it, and from there, just kind of a lot of help from many different people and organizations, and another organization, NAVDA, North American Versatile Hunting Dog Association, and some folks in there, um, especially mainly a guy named Jason Rice, kind of took me under his wing, and he's the one that told me about track to wing, which was where I got the track chair. But that organization, NAVDA, has helped, and Jason especially has helped with a large part of my training for Maverick. He would have been nowhere near where he is now without the help of like you said, an awesome hunting community that is always willing to help.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, those dogs are just those dogs are on point. It's amazing to watch and watch them have fun. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Like,
that's what
I
it's all
have
about.
fun through them having fun.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. Watching them running and working and doing their thing. I mean, I love getting birds, but if I don't get a bird, I could care less. I have so much fun just watching him do his thing.
Right. And they don't know they're working. You know what I
No,
mean? They're out there having a ball,
they're just running as fast and hard as they can, looking for stuff and trying to find what they're supposed to find.
following that nose, huh?
Yep.
That's cool, man. I really love that, dude. What, have you got a couple pheasants or how's that? What have you
Yep. I've
harvested
I've
so far?
I've gotten some pheasants. We've gotten some grouse, some sharp-tailed grouse. Um, Missed a couple of Hungarian partridge this year. I've had some issues, excuse me, with my shotgun this year and missed out on my two best opportunities at a pheasant where Maverick was pointing, held for probably a minute to 2 minutes while I got my track chair right up on him and flushed the bird, and shotgun decides it's not going to work, and I hear Clint pull the shotgun out or shell out, and there's a dent in the primer, and nothing happened.
Mm,
But we've managed to get some birds, but not as much as I'd like. But we've gotten into some birds. It's been a pretty good year.
that's awesome, man. And so I've mentioned on this page on this podcast before about the Action Track Chair. It's a wheelchair out there, an electric wheelchair, and it's that wheelchair. I don't know if you've seen if you guys have seen it on internet or whatnot, but it looks like a tank. So it's got these big tracks on each side, and there's several different options you got. But the and track chair could really it's an option that really helps get people out there. And uh, there's a lot of foundations that actually have their own track chairs and will take you hunting in their track chair. So if you guys happen to have an opportunity to look into it, Action Track Chair, and tell us about the story about how you got your track chair.
So the gentleman I was talking about, Jason Rice with NAVDA, he was watching me one day when I was out with Maverick. He was a puppy. He was probably only, I don't know, 6 months, less than 6 months old probably, and we were running around out in the field and doing our kind of beginner training stuff, getting ready for their beginner test, which is called the natural ability test. And he could tell that I was kind of I was keeping up, but I can't shoot from it my hand cycle very well. It takes me a minute to get up and shoot. So I had my dad with me to do all that kind of stuff and kind of handle Maverick. And so at the end of the day, he saw me and he came up to me and started talking to me about track to wing and what they did and all that. And he said he wanted to get me in contact with them to see if we can get a hold of a track chair. And their when we did get a hold of them, their grant period was over at that point, and it just ended like a couple weeks before. But they heard my story, they saw what I was doing, and they decided to open it back up for one more um, application. Looked it over, got a call back. I don't know, maybe a week later, and said, we're definitely going to give you a track chair." And they were pretty excited about seeing me get one.
That's awesome. And the foundation is called Track to Wing.
Yep. Number two.
WWING, Track to Wing.
Yep.
That's awesome. And that how did that land you on the sportsman bird dog
That yeah,
magazine here?
that was an article that they put out trying to spread the word for track wing, and so they kind of asked if they would if I would mind that they put me in there and a little bit about me and help them out with trying to get the word out.
Yeah, and you're more than willing, huh? After what they
Absolutely.
after more
Yeah,
yeah.
they've changed my life, so I'm happy to do whatever I can to help them out. I joined their board when it was the last after the last or right before the last application period, and so I'm trying everything I can to help them out as much as I can.
That's cool. What all do you do as a board member?
Help with the main thing is helping with deciding who gets track chairs.
Got it. You guys hear that? You need to look up track to wing. They have application periods for track chairs. You heard it here first through Matt Sather. I've never heard of track to wing, so this is another great option and another great window into the outdoors that you guys need to be taking advantage of. Take advantage of all these different routes you possibly can because you never know which door will open. And like I continually say, it's a domino effect from there. You're going to get out into the woods, you're going to harvest something, you're not going to harvest something. You're going to get out in the woods and you're going to find peace. You know what I mean? You're going to
Yep,
find that quiet, still, God's creation, dude. You're gonna be out there and you're gonna realize that life's not over. Life's just because you have a disability, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter because there's a way to get out there and there's a way to start enjoying life and having a bunch of fun doing it.
there really is a lot of opportunity out there, whether it be through hunting or fishing or sports, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how much opportunity I have been given in my life, in different stages of life, through organizations or people or whatnot.
Right. And it's not even if you just happen to come across this podcast and you're not into hunting, there's tons of foundations out there that whatever sport you like or whatever you're really interested in. Like I play ice hockey. I have friends who play basketball. I have friends who do tennis, pickleball, golf. There's wheelchairs out there that have stand up frames built into them that you drive around and you get up to your golf ball and you pop it up and it'll stand you up like a stand up frame and you swing and you sit back down and you drive off. There's a will, there's a way. Whatever your sport is or whatever your heart is passionate about, it's out there and there's a way to accomplish it. Um, that's super cool, man. I have a track chair as well. I haven't hunted any game from it, but I shoot 3D archery competitions out here in the West, out here in like
Hmm.
all over California, Utah, Nevada, all over, like yeah, you guys got TAC up there, right? Or that's Wyoming, I think. TAC's up in Wyoming.
Yeah, I believe it is. But we've got a lot of 3D archery tournaments and stuff like that around here too. I
Yeah.
haven't shot archery in a few years since I got Maverick. I decided at that point when I got Maverick that I was going to put down the bow for a little bit and concentrate on training him because I knew I wasn't going to have time to shoot the amount that I was going to need to be confident to hunt. So I put the bow down for a few years, but I used to shoot a lot of um, not as much tournaments, but fun shoots and uh, just practice as well. But I did a lot of bow hunting up until 3 years ago when I got Maverick.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. That I could picture that being a full-time job and one that you'd absolutely enjoy. 'Cause
Yep,
you
absolutely.
got a best buddy now too,
Yep,
Not
yep.
not
It's
just a
about
buddy,
him.
not just a hunting dog. That's a buddy right there.
Yep,
So recently you've had a pretty good season this year, huh?
I have.
Can you run us through a couple of your hunts and what you've got?
Yeah, so I've got my gotta fill my general deer tag here in Montana and my general elk tag in Montana as well. I didn't go out of state this year at all. But yeah, pretty good season in Montana. Got a cow elk the first week of our late shoulder season, and then I got my buck. I want to say it was the second to last weekend of general rifle season.
Yeah,
So
I see that. I'll add photos of the buck and the cow elk that you got here on the onto the YouTube before I drop it. Um, but yeah, how did you harvest these? Like what was your logistics going into these? Did you hunt from your tractor? Did you hunt from a car? Did you
so both of these
parachute into
both of them I shot from vehicle. The track chair I've used quite a bit for hunting this year. Little bit of big game, mostly bird hunting. But for the deer, I was hunting on my dad's friend's property and just kind of drove out there and hunted out of the vehicle for that one. It's kind of last second thing. We got a call from him and he said, "Hey, I've got a buck that's been wandering around out here. If you want to come down here and see if you can get him." And got down there, and I don't know, 45 minutes after we got down there, he showed up with a harem of does and chasing them all around in circles and couldn't care less that we were standing there. And so that one kind of pretty easy hunt. Didn't have to do a whole lot for it. They were in the rut, so just had to be at the right place at the right time.
yeah, don't tempt me with a good time. You want to come shoot a
Right.
buck? Hey, say less.
Absolutely. Yep. If I get an invite, I'll be there. And then
Yeah, say
and then the
less.
the elk hunt, I got invited over to the kind of central Montana area. Last year, a friend of mine um, was doing a cow elk hunt over there last year, and he kind of talked to the folks that he was the outfitters about me, and they said, "Yeah, bring him along, and we'll see if we can get him a cow elk." And so I got a cow elk last year, and I guess maybe a month or two before season this year, I got a text from the outfit there and said, "Hey, you want to come give it a go again and see if we can get you on another elk?" And so you don't have to twist my arm too hard for that one.
Not at all. Not
No,
at
I
all.
like having a I like having an elk in the freezer.
Exactly. Well, that's another main thing too. Is like I've said on this podcast before. Is like when I first started out, and everyone almost kind of has the same mentality, same mindset as like, you want the biggest, baddest animal, and like you want all these cool heads on the wall and stuff like that. But now that I'm like 13 years into my hunting life, dude, like I just want food in the freezer, man. Like
Right, absolutely. I'll
delicious
be
organic meat.
I'll be picky a little ways in the hunting season. We have a long season. I mean, we've got a 1 month archery season and then another month long rifle season and then a couple weeks of muzzleloader season. So, I mean, I've got plenty of time. So I'm usually a little bit picky in the first few weeks of season, and then once the rut starts coming to a close, the pickiness quickly goes away, and it's time to fill a freezer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all good, man. Yeah, I tend to go on just like, couple day hunts here and there, like 3 day hunt, 5 day hunt. So
Yeah,
yeah, usually the first day or two, be a little bit picky, but that third day, whatever
yeah,
it's going in my freezer like this. I don't know if you saw this recent buck that I shot in Utah, man, but I we're hunting from a vehicle just because it's super steep, rugged mountains. You're not gonna be rolling
sure.
your wheelchair around in terrain like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, and that's kind of how Montana is too. It's super steep over here, so that's
big
why the
mountains.
vehicle tends to be the best option for a lot of our hunting here.
Right, right. Yeah, and it happens on these hunts, dude. It happens quick. Like we were on our way back to the lodge. It was the last day. I was kind of bummed out because like, dang, yeah, I had this opportunity to go hunt, and where we were hunting they had big mule deer, but never saw a giant, and I was just like, man, I'd kill for anything. I just want food in my freezer, and
Sure, absolutely.
come around the corner and boom, up jumps a little tiny Forky, and the landowner, the guy was driving around, he's like, "Hey, you want to shoot it?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, I'm already hungry, man." So went, shot it, and it happened to be a collared, a collared buck, dude. And
Really?
I shot my bullet hit the battery on the collar,
Uh-oh.
and it exploded, dude. Like exploded. Like there was a giant flash of light, sparks were flying everywhere. There was smoke 20 feet in the air. Like, yeah, you
Hit
gotta
the
go.
battery a little bit there.
Yeah, you gotta go on my Instagram and find it, dude. It's hilarious,
Yeah,
man.
I'll go check it
It,
out again.
everybody who's seen it has just been mind blown. Like, what the heck? Like, I didn't know that it was even possible. But and it just goes to just the things like that too. And I got that tagged through a foundation called Disabled Outdoorsmen Utah. They take people with disabilities out into the state of Utah, and they'll get you
Nice.
on it. They'll get you on animals, you know. And
I don't think I've heard of them.
they helped me out. Huge blessing. Definitely look into it. Their Instagram is DO underscore Utah. So it's Disabled Outdoorsman Utah, but it's DO underscore Utah. Give them a gander, check them out. Shoot them a message. Shoot them a message. They got good social media over there, and that's just another foundation, and just yeah, just good people, just good amazing people out there. Well, so what do you hunt usually with like family or friends, or have you been blessed to be able to like get to hunt through foundations or and stuff like that?
A little bit of everything. So I would say I hunt mostly with my dad. I also hunt quite a bit with my friend Matt, who I've been friends with since sixth grade, fifth grade, something like that. And I'm 40 now, so we've been friends for quite a while. And then I've been hunting since I met Jason Rice. I've been hunting with him quite a bit for birds. I'd say as far as bird hunting, I hunt with him more than anybody else.
Cool. That kind of was just like a domino effect, wasn't it? Like you met one person, and then you kind of met another person, and then you met another
Absolutely, yeah,
person.
yep, pretty
Like
much.
that's what I keep telling everybody. You guys just gotta reach out and just. It all starts out with you putting your your wheel, your foot, whatever, but it's putting your voice out there and talking to people and watching the domino effect fall. It's
Yep,
the outdoorsman community is an amazing community, and if you're not able, because a lot of people with disabilities, they tend to shell up. You know, I was there for a while too. You know, we
yep.
shell up and we get, you know, don't want to be a
Oh yeah,
burden. We don't want people to look down on us, blah 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 blah, X Y Z.
yeah,
But it's not like that. You put yourself out there, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, this, you know, this person's actually willing to go and live life. It's like I want to be around people like that, you know, like I like people like that. And
yep,
so I'm saying, like, if you make yourself an asset and not a burden, then people are gonna want to hang out with you in any aspect of life.
yep, for sure.
Cool, man. So out in Montana, I got to think it's pretty freaking cold out there, bud. How how do you live out there, man? I like, cause I have a hard time like regulating temperature, and I can only imagine you being out in frigids.
So with spina bifida, at least me, I mean, obviously, I'm sure everybody's different, but with me, I don't have too much trouble regulating temperature. If I wear warm clothes, I'm gonna stay warm. I just make sure I've got really good, high quality warm clothes, insulated, Carhartts always, and your base layer, and put some long underwear over the base layer. So yeah, I've usually got at least 3 layers, and if it's really cold, I'll throw some snow pants on top of it, and that'll usually do the job pretty good. And then your I usually wear a ski jacket because figure ski jacket's meant for pretty cold, so
Cold and
that
snow.
does good. Yeah, that does well for me with a few layers underneath that, and I stay pretty warm usually. I mean, I get cold like anybody else. If you sit out there in cold enough weather and you
Right.
don't dress right, you're going to get cold. But I've never had a hard time in Montana with the winters. I love winter. In fact, fall and winter are my favorite times of year. I would trade summer all day for winter and fall.
Right on, man. That's cool. That's something I don't think we've talked much about on this page is layering up your clothing and layering up your gear when you're out in the
Huge.
woods. Because I know, like, so with me being paraplegic, I have bad circulation in my legs. So my legs will get cold. And if my legs get cold or my feet get cold, then that'll cool down my core temperature.
Yeah.
So I'll run boxers, long underwear, thin sweatpants, thick sweatpants, and like snowboarding pants or some some heavy duty hunting pants
Yeah.
that are made because that's the thing. So like they make gear out there that's tailored to temperatures. And
Yep.
I'll have warm gear, cold gear, but with the cold gear, what I always do is I'm a 34 waist regular jeans. I'll put size 34s on and I'll live my life. But I'm hunting, I'll always rock a size 38. Because if I'm in a size 38, then I could fit all those other layers
Yep.
underneath and then even at that, throw a belt on and go from there. And
It sounds like we kind of do similar things then.
yeah, it's trial and error. You know, if you go at it
Yep.
long enough, you're gonna learn what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely. So what I do when I'm looking for clothes, warm weather or cold weather clothes, I'm usually looking for the words like Arctic or Sub-Zero
Yep.
or something like that. Like Carhartt, they have their Arctic what do they call that? Like their Arctic level or whatever. They're insulated and they're meant for super cold weather. And so I usually will wear some sort of Carhartt layer on there, the Arctic layer, and that's probably the warmest layer that I have on. That and a good, base layer, whether it
Right.
be Under Armour or something like that, or whatever brand you want to go with, but some sort of a really good Sub-Zero or Arctic base layer. They're a very good place to start.
Yeah, everybody make sure you have the right gear on, the right clothing, because that will end your hunt very quick. If you get cold, it's hard to get warm, and you're not gonna get warm if you're out in the cold. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
come in, and your whole hunt's gonna be botched. So
absolutely.
you wanna be prepped. You wanna be ready to rock and roll for whatever nature throws at you. You want to be ready to take it. I love it, dude. So you guys obviously you got a lot of good fishing up there as well. Do you fly fish or
I do.
what's your
Fly
deal? Like
fishing is my preferred way of fishing.
I've always thought fly fishing more of an art form than it is fishing, man.
Yeah, it can be for sure.
I love fly fishing. I got into fly fishing right before I got hurt and I'm still doing it to this day.
Yep, I've been fly fishing since I was probably 8 or 10 years old, something like that. Longer than I've been hunting.
Awesome, dude. I love it. So on your page as well, I see you got here a couple pronghorn antelope speed
Oh
goat.
yeah, no, I've probably shot 15 or 20 of them now over my life. It used to be pretty much a guaranteed over the counter tag. It wasn't over the counter, but it was the odds were so high for a resident that it was pretty much a yearly thing. I hunted them until I was maybe in my mid 20s, and then the area that I hunted had a really bad winter and a really bad kill or winter kill and die off, and so I kind of quit hunting them for I don't know, probably 6 or 8 years, and then we found another spot that a buddy and my dad and I decided to go check out, and we started hunting them again for quite a while, and at least until I got Maverick, and then I decided I'm putting that on hold for a little bit again. I've shot enough antelope at this point that it doesn't break my heart too much to miss a few seasons.
Right, right. I'm gonna poke your brain real quick here on so hunting antelope. They're very I've realized, or my train of thought when I've harvested two antelope. Both were archery over water in a blind on private land, but they're very I tend to find them very spooky,
Very much so.
but the vision's not all that great. Like I got a fun. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have a
Their
funny
vision
story.
is their vision is excellent. Their
Okay.
their their scent is not really
Oh, okay.
usually
I
that
knew
great. Yeah,
something was
the
off there.
there yeah. Anytime that I've not gotten an antelope, it's because I got busted from like a quarter mile away, and it's like, well, that's over with. They saw me moving, and they don't stop running until they're about 2 miles away or 3 miles away, and then more
Yeah,
than enough space to call my hunt over.
yeah. When they get in a full sprint, man, you realize like why they call them speed goats. Those things just
Yep,
they get
out.
they could run probably a good 30, 40 miles an hour, dude. Like,
If they're running from you, it's I think it's 50 is the top, and
yeah,
we
dude,
we've
it's
had them running by us in a vehicle, and I think one time we were over 50 miles an hour, and the antelope were keeping up with us.
that's insane. That's wild. Um, yeah, the great if you guys ever have an opportunity to, put in for a lot of states here out west, put in for an antelope, great tasting meat, one of the best tasting animals I've ever had in my life.
I've always said that if they were the size of an elk, I would take an antelope all day, every day over an elk.
Yeah, me too. Hands down. Absolutely incredible, incredible eating on those critters, man.
The big thing
So
with antelope is you don't want to go after an antelope that's being chased all day and running all day. They get kind of
adrenaline.
stinky and nasty. You have the
Yep.
adrenaline and they don't taste very good when they're in that. And then the other side of it is you don't want to shoot one that's been that's living in the middle of a sage flat. 30 miles of nothing but sage. They tend to get pretty sagey tasting. But in Montana, we have so much farmland. It's a lot of wheat and barley, and so it's not too hard to find one that's been eating a lot of good food, and they taste as clean as anything you can eat.
Nice, dude. So let's revert back here to black bear hunting. How I just real I keep scrolling through his Instagram, so I'm just like, oh, there's something I want to talk about. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. So you like I'm like down here in Southern California, like we have bears and but it's up in the mountains and it's not wheelchair accessible. It's a hard hunt
Yeah,
for
that's
wheelchair.
most of bear hunting. It's
Yeah.
pretty inaccessible.
So what's up with like I always see like in the Northwest, in the North, like logging roads. How do you what you just drive logging roads until you see them, or how does that work?
I yeah, so this year the two bears that I've gotten, I got on private land. I got on my buddy's property. He in fact they're moving right now in the process of moving, but that property has always been a really good thorough way for bears, and we always end up seeing a lot of bears on the property. But I like this year we were on a logging road, public land, and came around a corner, and there was a nice black bear right in the middle of the road almost, and unfortunately it kind of jumped off the road and took off and didn't see it again. But yeah, that's how we've typically seen a lot of our bears is hunting logging roads. And if you can uh, if you've got track share taking, gated roads, that's the way to do it. I mean, there's I can't tell you how many times I've gone down a gated road now and not really usually hunting bears. I'm usually hunting something else, and there's just black bear sign all up and down the roads, and so that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, they tend to poop everywhere, man.
Yeah, you
I've
definitely
noticed
know
that
when they're
whole
in the area.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that as well. That's cool. So what all do you have on your bucket list, man? Like you got a pretty decent resume going on here. What's your
As far as hunting goes, I mean, I'd like to go somewhere kind of southwest Arizona or somewhere surrounding that and do some quail hunting. I'd really like to do that. Like to get a Mearns quail, or really like to get all of the quail species down there with Maverick. And a lot of my current bucket list things are surrounding bird hunting. I'd like to go after chukar. But as far as big game, I'd like to get a moose. That's been on the bucket list for a long time, and I put in for it every year here in Montana, and still haven't got one. And on average, it takes 50 years, I think, or 30, 40 years at least to get drawn in Montana. So I
sounds about
expect it,
right?
it might be another 10 or 20 years before I see it, but you never know. I've seen kids getting drawn when they're 12 and 13 years old for it. So keep putting in, and eventually it'll happen. So that's my
Exactly.
big game bucket list right now. I've taken big mule deer, big decent whitetails. I've never got a huge whitetail, but decent whitetails. And I've got my or three elk now that I've taken, and no, four elk, sorry, four elk, and antelope, but a bunch of antelope and black bears. So right now, moose is one of the big ones that I've not taken, and I don't even put in any more for bighorn sheep and goat, just because I don't like riding on horses. My body doesn't handle it well, and otherwise I don't know how I get back to them. So I kind of quit putting in for those and just kind of wrote that one off. I'm probably not gonna do that unless some miracle happens where I get an invite and it becomes a lot easier than taking a horse 14 miles back in.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty hard on the body, dude.
Yep, it is. So
Even
that's
for an
why
able
Moose is there.
even for an able-bodied person, it's hard on the body.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, I would have to agree with moose. I mean, moose or those mountain caribou as well are
Caribou would be cool too.
really
That would be up there as well.
on my list. There there's just a whole nother, and I just it's the adventure, man. Like looking like that's what gets everybody is watching these hunt movies or these articles in the magazines and the stories and how deep people can get into these stories and
Hmm.
just you see the land and you see the description and it's just I don't know how anyone who is addicted to nature would not want to go. Like I go up to Alaska every summer and I go fishing.
Hmm.
I'll go fishing for salmon, halibut, rockfish. But even when I'm fishing, I'm constantly looking for game. I'm like it's just looking for
Yep.
sick of blacktails or moose or bears or whatever
Right.
whatever. Dude, you're looking.
That's every drive that I'm on. I'm spending half the time, probably not the safest thing, but I'm probably spending half the time driving looking for game on the side of the road when I'm going to work or whatever. That's kind of what I'm doing.
It's
Anytime we go over eastern Montana, it's like my big thing is it's like counting how many antelope I see.
yeah, man. I absolutely love it. If I can't tell you guys enough. It all just starts with one, just getting your voice out there, you know, finding someone to help you hunt, whether it be a foundation, a friend, a family member, whatever. Just start putting fit. You know, you're not gonna catch a fish if your line's not in the water, dude. You gotta put your get your voice out there, get your intentions out there, and people will latch on, dude, and they will help out you. Like
Yeah.
here's here's another foundation. There's Nevada Wheelchair Sportsman. There's Wyoming Wheelchair Sportsman.
Wyoming disabled hunters.
Wyoming Disabled Hunters. They're Disabled Outdoorsman Utah. Disabled Outdoorsman USA. Check that out. Go on Instagram, type in Disabled Outdoorsman USA and look up their account. They're out of Texas and they're constantly running hunts for people with disabilities all over the place because they got people with ranches just reaching out like, oh, they bring them over here, let them hunt my land. Oh, let them hunt my land. Like people want you to have a good time and people realize, like life we live is hard, dude. It's not a simple, we're not able-bodied people to where it's just we're up rock and roll, like people when I go hunting with a lot of people and they see like what I have to do to get from just in my chair to into a side by side to back into my chair to getting set up to getting all this when realistically an able-bodied person could do it in 30 seconds. It takes me like 3 minutes, and it's just I'm not, like I'm not like asking for sympathy, but people realize like how much
It's not
harder.
easy.
It's not easy, dude, but they see that you're willing to grind, dude. They see that you're willing to suck it up, not complain and get after it, dude. And
Yep.
those are the kind of people that people want to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like people want you to be able to keep up. They don't, like I said, be an asset, not a burden, dude. And it's even if you can't, let's say you have an extreme disability. I've had some people on here that have, for some pretty severe cerebral palsy, but just they're able to get people out there who just and then once you get out there and they see how fun you're having, you have no idea how much fun it lets them have. Like it's better to give than to receive. And a lot of these people I've talked to over the years are like, they're like, dude, like even if you got a rad deer, cool, but you have no idea like how happy that made me. Like you made my life all the better. And it's just I can't say enough, guys. The outdoorsman community is so cool, bro. Like all right, like Muley Freak, like this sweater I'm wearing. I just started talking to him online, just Instagram, da 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 da. Now we're friends, and I go out to the Utah Western Hunting Expo, and we hang out. We hang out all day, and we'll just chat, and we'll share stories, and we'll laugh, and it's just cool, man. And life's just better when you're outdoors. And I just can't harp on that enough. But so figure out a way, contact your local fishing game. They will they will have options for you. Every state will have an option for you in their fishing game. Then there's the track chair, the action track chair. Check that out online, Instagram, whatever. And then there's the
Their website,
coyote.
I think, even has a bunch of information on grants and stuff like that, resources to be able to get them. So
What site
go
is this?
track chair, action track chairs website.
Oh, so they'll show you what ways to get it granted.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a whole list, I believe. If I'm remembering correct, I think they've got a whole list on there of organizations and grants and whatnot that help out.
Yeah, yeah, like the Kelly Brush Foundation, like these, like there's a lot of ways out there, and there's a lot of ways that you guys could figure it out. Um, life's grand. Get out there, have fun, enjoy
Yep.
enjoy everything you possibly can, because one day you're gonna be too old to do it, and you're gonna live a life of regret. It's like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. When instead you're like, oh, remember that, remember this, remember that. Like that's why like I try to get me and my old man out into the woods as much as possible and make as many memories as we possibly can because you never know when you go outside and you get out into the woods, you never know what you're gonna see, man. Like you don't know, and it's amazing to see just what God has prepared for us and out in the woods, man.
You see some pretty cool stuff out there.
I love it. Well, Matt, I appreciate it. How can we get a hold of if people have questions for you, how can they get a hold of you?
You can either find me through Facebook or Instagram. You can message me on there. I don't mind that. Otherwise, my email is matt67coupe at gmail.com. You can email me. Um, so yeah, those
Well,
are probably
yeah,
the best ways to get hold of me.
yeah, and his Instagram I'm looking at right here is at MATT underscore Sather SATHER underscore outdoors. Matt underscore Sather underscore outdoors.
Yep.
If you guys have any questions, like he just said, he'll be more than willing to answer them. And uh, I don't know about you, Matt, but I'm a God fearing man, and I love And I thank God for getting me into the outdoors. So at the end of every podcast, I lift up a prayer. If you guys are watching, you feel free to join. If not, I'm just gonna say a quick prayer, and we're gonna get on our way. So, Father God, thank you so much for the day you blessed us with. Thank you for the life that you've given us and the outdoors that you've given us. Lord, I thank you so much for the information that's been shared today. And I pray that those who have ears to hear and eyes to see will listen and hear and see this podcast, Lord God, and that they will seek you, God, and that they will find the information that they need. And let that lead to a life full of adventure and amazing memories. In your son's name I pray. Amen. Awesome. Matt, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on, dude.
Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it. It was
Yeah,
great talking to
buddy.
you.